Today our topic is two-step equation word problems. So our learning target is how can I write and solve two-step equation word problems. First, a review on two-step equations. So our steps. Remember that first step is just finding the variable because we always want to start on the side with the variable. So we'll draw those railroad tracks, identify where our variable is, and we work on the side with the variable. Then, once we have our variable found, step 2 would be to undo addition and subtraction. So we have plus 3. We want to undo plus 3 with a minus 3 on both sides. 3 minus 3 is 0. We bring down the 7x equals 24 minus 3 is 21. Last step then is to undo multiplication and division. Right now in our problem we have multiplication. We're doing 7 times x. We want to undo that with dividing by 7 on both sides. The 7's cross each other off. We get x equals 21 divided by 7 is 3. So that's our final answer. Alright, for our word problem solving strategy we use cubes. So, circle and we're going to change this to key terms. We're going to circle the key terms and we're actually going to box the numbers in alignment with your reading strategies in reading class. Underline the question. Eliminate what you don't need, so cross off what you don't need, and then always ask yourself, does your answer make sense? That's the main part in math, is we want to be able to solve problems, but we also want our problems to make sense. We want the answers to make sense. Alright, so write and solve. The company you are ordering the t-shirts from charges $5 per shirt plus a one-time setup fee of $30. So we're ordering t-shirts. Alright, so we want to circle the keywords and box the numbers. Let's start with that. So box the numbers. We got $5 and $30. Keywords. Charges per shirt. So let's circle per shirt. Plus is a keyword. That's a math term. A one-time setup fee. Let's circle one-time setup fee. Alright. Underline the question. Well, right now we don't have a question. Our question is going to come later. It's going to come in step 3. And we don't have to cross anything out because we need all of this information. So, number 1, write an expression to represent the situation. Remember, expression has no equal sign. So we just are going to write an expression. $5 per shirt. Per means multiply. Per shirt. Do we know how many shirts we're buying? No, we don't. We're not told that information. So we're going to need a variable for our shirts. So we could say variable would be x. So we're going to do 5 times x. Then plus means you're adding. So we just use an addition sign. A one-time setup fee of $30. One-time fee. That means all we have to do is just add that $30 on one time. That's it. So that would be our expression, 5x plus 30. What does your variable represent? We always want to know what our variable means, and in this case, it's the number of shirts that we bought. We talked about that as we were setting up our expression. So we would write out number of shirts purchased. All right, question 3. So here's our time to underline, because we're underlining that question. How many t-shirts can you afford if you have collected $345? So we have 5x plus 30. We know x is our variable for shirts. It's the number of shirts. So $345 cannot go in for x. That means it's going to be an equal sign. It's going to be the total money that we spent, or that we can spend on t-shirts. So we want to solve this equation now to figure out how many t-shirts we can buy. We want to solve for that variable. Let us know those t-shirts. Draw your railroad track. Find your variable. Step 1, undo addition and subtraction. We're going to undo this plus 30 with a minus 30 on both sides of the equal sign. Bring down that 5x. 5x equals 345 minus 30 is 315. Last step, undo multiplication and division. We have multiplication, so we're going to undo it with dividing by 5 on both sides. We get x equals 315 divided by 5 is 63. That means we could purchase 63 t-shirts with $345. It's a lot of t-shirts. All right, last problem, write and solve. Students went on a field trip to the zoo. 5 buses were filled and 10 students traveled in cars. Write an expression to represent the situation. So again, we want to circle the numbers. So, not circle the numbers, excuse me, box the numbers. So put a box around 5 and a box around 10. Circle the key words. Buses were filled and students traveled in cars. We know we're talking about students, so our expression should revolve around the number of students that are there. So we know that 10 students traveled in cars, so that's going to be our one-time thing, that just plus 10. We know we have 10 students that aren't on the buses, they're in cars. And then we know there were 5 buses that were filled, but we don't know how many students were on each bus. So that's going to end up being that 5x piece, that 5 times your variable. Because we want to know where those students are, how many students are on those buses, but all we know is that we have 5 buses. So then in question 2, what does your variable represent? X is going to be the number of students. And it's going to be particular to the buses. So it's the number of students on the buses. All right, and the last piece, number 3, this is our question. We should underline it. If 300 students went on the field trip, how many students rode on each bus? So we know total students, which means that's what our expression is equal to. We have 5x plus 10. We know that total is going to come to 300. However, we want to know how many students were on each bus. We want to know what is that x equal to. How can we solve for our variable x? Draw your railroad tracks. Undo plus 10 with a minus 10. We bring down that 5x equals 300 minus 10 is 290. Last step, undo multiplication and division. We have multiplication. Let's undo that with a divide by 5 on both sides. We get x equals 290 divided by 5 would be 58. That means that there would be 58 students on each bus. So there'd be 58 on bus 1, 58 on bus 2, 58 on bus 3, 58 on bus 4, and 58 on bus number 5. That's all the notes I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel.